everyone, and welcome to West Texas. This is going to be something a little bit different. If you've watched what I've done before, it's not going to be a time-lapse series. It's going to be a quote-unquote normal series. And we're going to set ourselves up a nice big dairy farm. If you watched the video that I released a few days ago, you will have seen me spend a ton of money setting this farm up. We started with $15 million. If you saw that video, you will have seen that I said I would do that quite a lot. So yeah, let's take a little look around the farm. We have a fairly big dairy farm here. We have 12 of these cattle pens. Each of them can hold 192 cows, which gives us a potential of 2,300 plus cows on this farm. And I do plan to go big. If we come around here, we've got the dairy. So up in there, we have the milking parlor and the milk storage tanks. And we also have in here all the points for the animal pen extension, which at some point I will tidy up and move out of the way because I don't use them. I like to deliver my own milk. Well, or on this series, Auto Drive will be delivering our milk for us. So yeah, we have those 6 pens. You will have seen if you watched, I guess the first thing, if you watched the last video, I've brought this little lizard beast since so we can get around. If you did watch the video, you will have seen that we brought a bunch of gear and added in some buildings. So we've got these 2 fermenting silos for silage. Don't have Maize Plus running, we do have Seasons running. So these will ferment chaff into silage, and then the third one you can see just there is a store for forage and chaff and straw and those kind of things. In here we have our grass working equipment that we've brought so far. So we've got a square baler, we've got a forage wagon, the Cavernla mowers, a windrow and a tedder. We might need to get a bale wrapper if we're going to do silage bales, but we have the 2 fermenting pits, and we also have a couple of massive bunkers which I'll show you in a bit. Not come the best way around here, but I wanted to show you one of the bits that I really like on this map, which is a little commodities area for storing all the animal feed. Very much like 10th generation dairyman has on his farm in Canada. We've also got a water buy point here. I think I have the sound set up okay, but bear with me if it's not, and let me know what you think in the comments. We've got these sheds, which I think are probably bale sheds. If I make a lot of bales, I'll be adding in some of the auto load bale sheds just to make life easier. But we have Anderson TMR mixer here. We've got a case skid steer loader with a couple of tools and a little Fendt 300 with a front loader on it. I still need to get a bale fork for that. Got the Joskin silo space, which is a base game mod. We've got a couple of little New Holland forage trailers there for when we do silage, and an old Massey 8140. So these are our kind of yard slash cow working vehicles and equipment. A whole load of calf pens. The map doesn't have calves, so these are purely a nice decorative addition. That would be a lot of calves. And then just here we have 2 huge silage bunker things. So we will be making use of those at some point, I'm sure. This is the other area of the yard that I developed. So we've got 2 big sheds. Before we head in there, our Peterbilt truck. We will probably be getting another one of those, and we probably need a trailer for moving bales about. I would like to get cows really early and probably before we have food, so we're going to have to go and buy some bales. We have a huge silo over here that holds 16 million litres. Let's just check. I think it's only kind of standard crops. So it doesn't hold cotton, so fruit crops. Yeah. Yeah, we have some storage for root crops for where that is. But yeah, the silo doesn't hold all crops. It's not a multi-fruit silo. Probably going to add in actually the released today root crop store from Missy B. We have a couple of Meridian bins around here, so we have one each for seed, fertilizer, and lime. And then let's have a look in the sheds at the kit we've got for managing the crops and the fields. And then I'll show you the fields that we own. So I guess first thing, I've added anhydrous to the map. It seems to be a part of most American maps and playthroughs. And we have this Nitro Master cultivator / anhydrous applier. So I'm also running precision farming, so we'll be making use of that. Got the Grizzly Field Boss plow here, kind of like a disc plow. Yes, I'm ignoring the tractor for now. We've got a nice 60-foot case seeder and air cart. We've got, I think it's Custom Modding's early rise planter. It's the bigger of the two that are released, and it's the version off of their Facebook page. And then yeah, we've got this old girl, a case 9190. I don't think this was actually made as a real tractor. I think it was a prototype. It's something like 600 horsepower. Joules on it, obviously, because it's going to be our main fieldwork tractor. And just have a quick look inside. It's a really nice model. I used this before I started making maps when I played on West Texas. And it's really cheap as well, if you want a big tractor. It's $145,000 compared to a quad track, which so the goal of this series, sorry if I end up rambling slightly, I'm not used to recording like this, so we need to pay back the $15 million that we started with, and I want to work towards renovating the farm and replacing the older kit with nice new big expensive stuff. I've never run quad tracks before. I really want to get to running quad tracks on here, and I think a big dairy farm will do that. Okay, and then we also have a Case Magnum 285. Is the older version of ModHub, and it's got the class crop scanner on the front because that's one of the sensible ways of doing precision farming. We have quite a lot of land, and I thought calling in the agronomist to measure the soil would be a bit expensive. Okay, that's that shed. And then over here, we have a Case Titan. This is Mark Thor's edit of the Case Titan, which fixes the textures and hopefully the brakes. Case Patriot to do our spraying. We have Sid Modding's twin screw combine. It's a thing of beauty, isn't it? And it's got tracks on it. Who doesn't love dual tracks? And we've got a New Holland forage harvester. It's only the 450, which is why it's got a 6-meter header on it. Again, we're running a big farm. We are going to need to either replace this with a bigger forage harvester or another forage harvester. We've got the Kinsey grain cart, and we've got a 45-foot lizard draper header. We don't have a corn header because my plan will be to silage any corn that we plant initially. Obviously, this map's got the ethanol plant on it, so as we grow, we may start using that and try and make some money from that. Pressure washer. And then over here we have the Art Mechanic Animal Trailer, which holds, I think, 56 cows. We're going to start with at least 300 cows, so we wanted something big for that. A couple of Lizard belly dump trailers. These are 110,000 litres each. And a low loader, because although I've used stored deliveries to set this all up, from now on, if we want stuff, we will have to go to the store. And the store is quite a long way. In terms of fields that we got, I'm just going to use the magic F11 button and switch on flight mode and some player speed because the map's huge. So we own the cattle yard, obviously, with its 12 pens. We own field 12, which is this big circular field with the fertilizing thing that I've forgotten the name of because I'm a Brit, not an American. I don't plan to use that because when I've tried playing with them, they're incredibly slow, and I'm not sure how it will work with precision farming. We also have, and I need to switch the map on because I'm forgetting some of the numbers, these three fields over here, which are 14, 4, and I believe 6. They are all fairly big fields. And at the moment we have $1.5 million ish left, but most of that is going to go on cows and cow feed. So we can't really afford to buy any more equipment, so we're mostly going to be running single tractors on jobs. And then over here, this is part of field 6. That nice little barn is just decoration, and we may end up ripping that out if we need the space. We have got a workshop in here, which is good because I don't have a workshop over at the main farm yet. And we also have our anhydrous tank for filling up the anhydrous kit right next to our house, which in hindsight seems a little dumb. Maybe I should have put that over at the farmyard. Anyway, that's our farm. Let's have a quick look at the map. So this is a 4x map. I think that's what people call them now. I used to call them a 16x map when I used to play on them. So our farm is over this side of the map. The shop and a lot of the sell points are over here. The animal dealer is down here, which is obviously going to be fairly key for us early on. And if you've watched my West Texas meat video, Cargill's is here, I believe. And this will be another big part of the map, as some of the cattle that we get will be going over here to be turned into beef. Another nice feature of this map, which we'll just jump over to actually, is we have a state park. I won't be using the flying and the super speed when we actually start playing, but how nice is that as a feature? We've got a nice lake and a bit of a river canyon, and yeah, I think that's really cool. There are a lot of other farms on this map as well. Just turn it up to 8 times. I didn't mean for this to be a map tour, but it's going to turn into a little one. I think this is kind of the starter farm. It has everything. It has cows, horses, sheep, chickens. Not a very big cow yard. It was one of the ones I did think of. If I started small, I would start over here, but I wanted to do something bigger. And we have an even smaller farm over here with another small cow pen. Another thing that I had thought is that we might have to expand here if we run out of space for the cows, but we have space for 2,300 cows. I don't want more than that, I don't think. And then we've got these, little farms with random sheds spotted about. More animals here. I'm guessing cows, and if that is cows, that might be really convenient actually as an expansion point for us. If we do get to the point where we don't have any space, there's actually 2. That one? That's 1, I think. I think the feed tray is just way over there. And then some fairly big fields. Just flying over our farm. A lot of the fields have sheds with them as well, like this down here. So if you were starting out yourself on this map, you could set up a small farm. And then we've got a couple of sell points and a buy point. Another nice little starter farm down here. This is not actually going to be a proper map tour, just giving you a feel for the size of the map. They're pivots. That's what they're called. They're called pivots. Probably not going to be using those. Over here, we've got the root crop sell point. We will have a look at that, and it's not too far then over to the animal buy point, which is just up here. And another little farm. So here's the animal buy point. There's also a bale sell point and a grain sell point here. The shops, way over that way. We will be using auto drive on this map for sure. Turn that off, and that off, and that off, so we don't accidentally use it. And let's take a look at the state of our fields. So, haven't done any precision farming scanning yet. Probably going to stick the scanner on the little fence and just run that around all of the fields on Courseplay. It does work on Courseplay. And then in terms of general field condition, field 12 and field 14 both need ploughing. 14 I'm probably going to plant as grass because there was a big grass area up here. I've turned that into a farmyard. And we're going to need a fairly big grass field, I think. And then I'm going to run a rotation across 4, 6 and 12. Which is just going to be triticale or an other cereal crop, something that gives a straw. Corn, obviously, for silage, and I'm tempted to do cotton. That may not be a first year crop though, because we would need a cotton harvester. We could rent one, I guess. Back in the seasons menu, looking at planting windows. So corn we can't plant until mid-spring. And where's cotton? Cotton we can plant the same mid-spring. So I think the goal for today is probably to get whichever field is going to be our cereal crop field prepped and ready to go. I guess the next question is probably worth doing the grass field as well. So I think what I'll do is I'll get the plough running on field 14 and then maybe start scanning 4 and 6. I'm going to leave field 12 for now. Field 12 doesn't work well with course play, so I've actually set up 2 courses which split this field in half. Right, so I think first we will get the crop scanner going with course play. So let's go grab one of our small tractors to do that. I think if we drop the loader off the front of here, we'll get this set up, we'll get the plough set up, and then I think we'll jump into a bit of a time lapse of these guys working. Because I'm already a little bit of air there, 19 minutes into the video, and we haven't actually done anything yet. And I won't speed this up. Very strange. At the start, I will probably limit this to 1 video a week, as finding time to record like this is more difficult than recording a time lapse. And to record my time lapse is just sitting in the comfy chair with the laptop with the family. Actually, I think if I get this running on field 14 first, this should cover the ground much quicker. And then we'll bring the plough over and do 14 as well. Right, let's open that up. It's best to switch this on when you're using it with Courseplay before you start. We'll open up Courseplay, Course Generation, Field 14. We'll do a headland. Knock the width down a bit so we don't miss anything. And put it on turn in corners. Awesome. That first waypoint. Probably shouldn't have set it up right in the corner. But, oh well. Get that going. We'll just wind up the speeds a little bit. Okay, so if we look on the map, we can see that that is scanning. Awesome. Right. Into the big case. I have no idea how long to actually make these videos. I think what we'll do is we'll get this going and we'll jump into a time lapse of probably me ploughing and Courseplay running the crop sensor. Oh, worth mentioning, so the slurry points for each of the cow pens is over here. Obviously at first we will be making slurry. Just realized I've got time on ×1 as well. Let's stick that up to ×5, which is what I tend to play on. And I think we'll go this way. Obviously not massively used to articulated tractors. Drop that down and let's get going. So I'm assuming we will have to do lime and some nitrogen in this field as well. This is not too overly big a field, I guess, to be getting started on. Although it looks like our Fent is either stuck or charging straight down at us. We lift up. Close that up. We'll get out of his way, because that's easier, because we're a huge tractor with a plough, and he's a little Fent going flat out with the sensor on. And this is the stuff that gets edited out. There we go. We'll loop back round. Plough unfolded again. Get back on our course. Right, I think now is a perfect time to jump into a time lapse. I may move the Fent over to the next field if he gets done. Well, he will get done before I get stuck into the... before I finish the ploughing even. So yes, I will see you all in a little while.
Even when my teardrops start to dry, even when the sun begins to shine again, taking all the advice there is and none of it has helped. Experience has made me realize that I won't build my life on empty words. Being so damn naive, it only hurts. I'm so tired of love songs, life never turns out the way they do. I've been trying for so long, looking for someone who wants me to. I've heard every cliche there is and none of them make sense. I'm so tired of love songs, I'm sick and tired of love songs. I'm so tired of you. Looking back on how I used to be, I always thought that love was made for me. Oh well, I was just as blue-eyed as...
Okay, so we are almost done here. We've just got to tidy up the headland up here, and that'll be this field ploughed. We've also got fields 4 and pretty much field 6 done with the crop scanner. That just leaves field 12 to do with the crop scanner, field 12 to plough, and all of the planting to do. Probably, very good question. Not sure if our seeder is a direct seeder. I think it probably is. It is not, so we're going to need to run the cultivator over it. We can probably at that point also use it to add some nitrogen into the fields, because as you can see on the mini-map, the nitrogen levels are pretty awful. Thankfully, the lime's pretty good. And if I just jump out, you can see the lime is good, so we may not even bother spreading lime this year. We may wait for next year. So the 9190, I think it is, due to this tractor, is been doing great. The steering's a bit sensitive. I think that's just because I'm on keyboard and it's an articulated tractor. Played about with the settings a little bit and it's helped turn down steering sensitivity and steering correction. Because at the other end of the field I could just run straight into field 6 because it's just a field of withered cotton. I didn't do a headland that end. So if we check the map, we can see that this field is pretty much done for ploughing, and hopefully that'll run okay and we can check. So pH is pretty good, nitrogen is awful, so we'll have to have a look at certainly for grass in field 14, that needs quite a lot of nitrogen, so I may run the anhydrous over that first before we plant it. I think corn and wheat type crops also need quite a lot of nitrogen, so definitely worth doing a pre-application with anhydrous. Right, that's done. We will get the plough back over to the yard. I think we can run the anhydrous bar on the Magnum, so I think we may grab that, get that running around this field as a start, and then stick the seeder on here. And depending on how long that all takes, that might be it for today. Just going to check the season menu. What I may do, get the grass in the ground so it's growing, and then start getting some cows in and go and get some bales brought, probably next episode. Sooner we get the cows, the sooner they will have calves and then start producing milk. I'm also curious to see how this tractor will work on Courseplay. I have a vague memory that it's not great. If that's the case, we will either have to drive it, which is not a problem because it's quite a big seeder, or we may have to look for another cheap big tractor. Because although I've got $1.5 million left, we have a lot of cows to buy, and that's not going to be cheap. I think I worked out that we're going to spend about $900,000 on cows in the next day or so. That's good enough. I'm not actually going to put that in the shed because it's got to go do field 12 soon. But we will unhitch it. But apart from some testing when I put anhydrous into the map, this is my first time using anhydrous. And I'm pretty sure the tank is empty, so we're going to have to take it over, yep, over to the other farm first to fill up. Means I need a way out of here. May actually be best to go out onto the track and down the main road. So this is also a fence. This is also a cultivator, so we'll get the field cultivated at the same time. I'm hoping the hitbox is quite big on the anhydrous tank so that we don't have to fiddle about getting these guys into the fill point. Okay, there's a sign there. Sorry about your car. I've got insurance. It's fine. So if we go in here, hopefully I may just run over field 6 to get to field 14. That will work. There's nothing actually in field 6 we need to worry about. In like 30 episodes or so, I'll have learnt my way around the map a bit. So these aren't truly huge fields that we've brought so far, I guess. Maybe field 6 is quite big. Swing out a little bit. Please fit. Oh, so close. Aha. Okay. I'm confused. Disconnect that. And disconnect that. I have to admit, when I did my testing, I did just use F11 to fill the anhydrous tank. Now that cost us quite a lot. There we go. So about 13,000 to fill up. Hopefully it will last quite a long time. I know anhydrous does have quite a lot of nitrogen in it, so we shouldn't need to apply a huge amount. But equally, our fields are a mess. I think while I'm getting the farm set up, I am going to leave the game on ×1. First few days of a game on seasons are always a little bit random with getting everything done. All the work you would normally do in autumn after you harvested. So we're going to deactivate automatic application. We also need to go into auto drive. And where is it? There's an option to not show the controls. Display help. That's it. And we'll do the same for course play. And hopefully, yep, we can now see the precision farming menu. For some reason we're still seeing the auto drive controls. Maybe I didn't accept that one. We don't need auto drive. So we want to add quite a lot of nitrogen. I think we'll go with that. So plus 80 kilograms of nitrogen per hectare. We'll go course generation, field 14. Do 2 headlands, smooth, slightly bigger overlap. I'm sure the working width is 18 meters. Let's just have a quick look in the garage. Oh, it's 15 meters. Okay, I think we'll do skip rows. We'll do up downs first. See what that gives us. That looks okay. And the fence just finished as well, so that's 3 fields scanned. We'll just fold that up while we drive, as it seems to be sticking to the ground. I'm hoping the Magnum's got enough power to pull this. let's save that as F40 meters. We'll turn that on. Drive course. And that seems to be working. Okay, we'll leave him to it. And jump over and get the fence. And I guess now is a good time to show you what I've done for field 12. Get that scanned as well. There's probably a bit of an edit there as an Amazon delivery arrived. I'm home alone today and we have 4 dogs. So it was pretty chaotic. So we have this area here as well. I'm not sure what it's intended for. Maybe dumping manure into. But it's got some grass around it, so we may end up cutting that and this to get us some early grass. Okay, so what I've done here is record 2 courses, which I named really badly. Because I named them both as right. But you can see this is the right hand side of the field. I set it up from the other end of the field, which you can't see me pointing at either. So let's do course generation, do a headland. We'll do smooth because actually I found that backing into the corners made it go a bit funky. I'm going to knock the working width down a bit to make sure we've got good coverage. We've got, no, we've not got skip rows on. Not working on headland. Just smooth. On headland. That looks really weird. I know what the problem is. There we go. Because it's not defined as a field boundary, I can't recreate multiple courses at a time. Unfold you and switch you on. And set you off. And while they both run, we'll go set up the seeder. What are you doing? Oh, cool, it's on 3rd row done. Probably going to have to let that finish actually because I want to start planting on headlands. Again, I'm showing my lack of familiarity with our setup on here. I think we can put fertilizer in as well with this. Cool. With this scale of farm, I'm not using the realistic seed mod. And I really don't understand bushels. But I know that was a lot of seed. Oh, fold up, because we're going to have to do a loop around the silo. And the second one is fertilizer. This is probably going to be a big bill as well. Yep, that was another big bill. Let's get this over to the field and then we'll see how the Magnum's doing. Can't remember if I said that I've made one edit to this tractor. The version that I downloaded was set to run at 50 miles an hour, I think, which just seemed massively unrealistic for something like this. So I copied things like the 9RX and the big K-Score track and stuck it at 24. I think we'll leave this here, jump into another time lapse while the Magnum works, and I'll catch you in a little while. The Magnum is still working with the anhydrous. Something doesn't seem right with that. I'm going to leave it for now and probably have a play between episodes. Bent has nearly done the first half of the field, so I thought I'd show you how I've set up the other half. And we'll get that running, and that will be the last of the scanning of the fields that we own sorted. Bent can then go back to its home in the cow yard. So if we clear that off, it's going to run up. I think there might be a gap in the two courses that I've set up, so I'm just going to run the strip that I think will be blank. And then we'll set the second course up. While that's going, we'll load the other right course. And then in a second, we'll generate the course. course generation, 1 head. Again, we'll just drop the width down a little bit. That looks good to me. Drive course. It looks like there actually wouldn't have been a gap, but I'd rather have got that done and sorted. I'm just going to jump over to the Magnum, which is now on the headlands, and you'll see that the cultivation has left these weird strips, but the fertilization hasn't. What I think's the issue is I think the cultivator is actually a 12.5 meter implement, and I think that it's been then set up with a 15 meter anhydrous sprayer. The other issue is we don't seem to be using anhydrous, but I'm not sure if that is the same problem we had when we filled up, in that we didn't show that we had any anhydrous going in, but we in fact did. So we'll see at the end whether we've actually used any anhydrous. I'm going to let this finish and I will get back to you when it's done. So we are just about done here, and I've worked out a couple of things that I've got wrong so far with this. Just put the HUD back on and turn off the courseplay map. The first thing is that we filled up with liquid fertilizer, not anhydrous. And that's because the anhydrous tank that I fitted only provides liquid fertilizer, which is obviously a slight problem. And in a minute we'll be finished and we'll check whether we've actually used any liquid fertilizer. So between episodes I'm going to get that sorted. I'm going to do a little bit more testing to make sure that we're using anhydrous. And that may be why it didn't show up when we started to fill up, because we were filling up with liquid fertilizer, not anhydrous. Anyway, we are just about done with this, so the field is fairly well fertilized, even though it all looks a bit of a mess. So let's clear that course off, close that, lift that up, close it up. I may look at selling this anhydrous bar / cultivator and getting another option. There were a couple more in the pack. That wasn't what I wanted to detach. We want that one, so we're going to detach the tank, attach the cultivator. We'll just see if we did actually use any liquid fertilizer in that awful experiment. So no, we didn't. I guess because the bar uses anhydrous. So yeah, that's definitely something that I'm going to have a look at between episodes. Anyway, I think we're getting fairly long now. As I said before, this is my first attempt at a non-time-lapse video. So what I'm going to do, we're going to put this one on. This one is on automatic fertilizing. So we still need to add quite a lot of nitrogen. But I am going to get this going. Start getting some grass in the ground, which that doesn't seem to be planting. Okay. Okay, that's in the ground now. So now we are planting. This is probably going to take me a while, so what I will do is say thank you for watching if you've made it this far. Please leave me some feedback. This is the first time I've tried a video like this, so let me know what you thought. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you aren't already, think about subscribing. And I will catch you next time I can get one of these recorded. And we'll just finish off with a little bit of the case and the air seeder in action. And I should probably have done a smooth turn here. We'll just see if we can correct that before we switch the camera off. There we go. Oh, that's a mess. That's definitely a mess. Anyway, thanks for watching, folks. Catch you next time.
I hoped we were gonna make it. He promised we would find the time.